Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio. Calm down and when you see our lighting. For all of you that enjoy this podcast on YouTube, we got a real treat for you today.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, this is called On the Road and looking real fresh. I wish you could see this this setup I have in my room. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Calm Down podcast. We are in the same exact place, but in two different places at this hotel, if you understand what I'm saying. My laptop is resting on a cardboard box. You're in a kitchen.
I'm in a kitchen. There's chairs, there's tables, there's Jillian, our friend and makeup artist to the stars. There's a fire door. There's a whole thing happening here. And my microphone is in my purse. It's fine.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's purse.
It's perfect. We are at the Fox NFL seminar in Phoenix, Arizona, home of where we are going to have our Super Bowl next year. And it's been a packed day. I've had 7,000 meetings. What have you been doing?
Well, you're very important. So you have 7,000 meetings. I've had 2 meetings, and that's by the time it's all said and done. So I'm actually dressed and my hair is is done. For the first time today, because as we know, since we were sitting in meetings all morning, to explain what the seminar is for those people that don't know what it is.
Explain it.
So we all meet together once a year. Last year with COVID restrictions, we didn't meet. Everyone being all of the crews. So like Erin's on the road, I'm in studio. There's, 5 other broadcasting teams that cover games all year long, but no one's ever all in the same place because logically they're covering a different game. So it's a team bonding, building, retreat kind of a thing. We all get together and then we go over different rule changes for the season. Speaking of which, one of the rules that they're changing, Erin, that we heard this morning, the taunting rule. What the hell?
I hate it.
I hate it. I was sitting next to
not that I'm not in, full cooperation with the NFL. We love them. I'll do anything they say. But okay, so explain, if you want to explain what the new rule is, and I think you and I are going to say the same exact thing. I was dying for somebody's reaction in that room. Go ahead, explain the new rule.
Okay, so taunting, basically what they're saying is they had this thing a couple years ago where they said, oh, you can't have an excessive celebration if you scored a touchdown. You just had to put the ball in the back of the end zone, no dances, all that. Well, then the NFL got nicknamed the No Fun League. So they re-implemented the celebrations and they were like, okay, have fun, celebrate if you score a touchdown. But now, if you're a defensive player and you make this like sick play, or even if you're a wide receiver and you make a great catch and you kind of like throw it back in the face, not the ball, actually like throwing the ball, but if you showboat a little bit and you're like, what up, man? Or like kind of direct, I don't know what the actual technical like verbiage of taunting is, but if you're showboating in front of the player you just burned or beat or whatever, they call that taunting, and then you're penalized. It's 5 yards on the kickoff.
You can't wave.
You can't do that. You can't, like, what was the other one? Like one guy's like, oh, handcuff, like a DB being like, I
didn't even know that gesture.
Me neither. Well, neither did the guy explaining it. And Charles Woodson and Mike Vick are sitting next to us.
Yes.
And Charles is like, what? You can't do that. And Mike's like, you can't do that. I looked at every player in the room and they were like, that's bullshit. Like, again, we love the NFL, but we want to have fun. Right. And if you make a great play, like I like the showboating. My favorite player growing up was Deion Sanders because it's like, hey, let's, hey, fun fact about Deion, which I didn't know this. He is like, I always thought he was like a total shit talker. He goes, Charissa, I never once used profanity. And I go, what?
He doesn't cuss.
He doesn't cuss. I know. But because it's like his hubris nature and he's like, was always like flashy on the field and stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, I never used profanity and I never like showboated about what I did over people. I just was confident in like my own, ability. He probably loves the rule.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. So that was interesting.
But you said it. Charles Woodson was the one guy I wanted to look at. And because he, didn't get to be at our seminar last year, this is the first time he was there. And I know he was probably like, defensive players can't do what? It was just awesome to kind of see what his reaction was. Really awesome to sit down and talk to him. Obviously, he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame this week. And I had a chance to go over and say hi to him last night at dinner. And he's awesome. I love the reason and the story behind who's inducting him, which I don't want to give it away, but everybody will see that this week. It made me choke up. So I can't wait for that.
You're going to be there. You're going to be there.
Yeah. So I'm doing the game, but I won't be there for the inductions. But I just got out of a production meeting for that. Tom Rinaldi and I will be handling the sidelines. Troy Aikman is presenting Jimmy Johnson, which is super special because everybody remembers that whole moment on Fox where Jimmy, it was announced that he had made it into the Hall of Fame and he lost it during the pregame. And then I forgot where we were. I think we were maybe in Green Bay. They had a shot. We were because Troy was in a coat. We had a shot of Troy up in the booth and he was bawling. And that was just so sweet. So I'm excited for that moment. But that's a whole thing. Like Charles was talking about how many people are allowed to be invited. There's actually a head count. It was really funny. He said that, originally the Hall of Fame tells you how many people you can invite. And you're like, well, I don't have that many people I like. And then once the invites start coming, you're like, wait, this isn't enough. Kind of sounds like a big wedding,
Yeah, like the scene in Father of the Bride where he's like, they're going through the cards and he's like, didn't he die? And he goes, great. And like throws the card out. He was like,
good.
Yes, good. But it is really fun, again, to be with everyone here. In case we haven't also called attention to why we're in separate rooms if we're at the same place. Because I admittingly am not a technical person at all. So Kurt, our amazing technical engineer, producer, I think Kurt and Ryan are both considered producers. It's not important right now, the label. But what's amazing is Kurt is like, you two should just stay separate because the microphone interference. So that's why you and I are in different places, for those of you that were wondering. Because I'm sure you guys were all sitting there at home or wherever you're listening to our podcast wondering why we're not together. But it is fun to get together with the groups. And I was just thinking as I was sitting there, because they give us the schedule. Would you get 5 weeks of your games that you whatever? And I was looking down at that.
I have all my games pretty much.
I was like, she must be thinking like, all right, here we go. Because it lays out like all the crews and who's working and all that kind of stuff. But are you getting pumped?
Yeah. It's good. I mean, this is kind of different for us doing the Hall of Fame game because normally we do the third preseason game. And that's when the starters will play and we're close to getting ready to go with this season. We do the Hall of Fame game and then we still really have like a month before the season starts. So, I'm getting pumped. I'm excited to go do football. I'm actually kind of freaked out because preparing for this game is a little different from our other games. Like we're not going to see Dak Prescott. I don't think obviously no, he's got a strained shoulder. We're not going to see Ben Roethlisberger. Typically, as you know, in the first preseason game, you don't see the starters. So that's a little different for us. This is going to be more of like an event, a show, like talk to the guys on the sidelines, talk to the Hall of Famers. But yeah, I'm excited to get going. Look, we're pumped, right? 2021. What did we have a big discussion about? Like, it's the year of the fan here for Fox. Like, we're just excited to see fans in the stands. We're hoping for some normalcy. I just got the big announcement. We're going to be down on the field, which I'm freaking looking forward to. I don't think people really realized how different that was for us last year. We were kind of in this front row moat area, which was super hard. Usually like 3 hours before the game is the pre-game where the guys, before they get in their unis, we're down there. We're kind of getting all the, gossip from them, any, last minute information. That's when you talk to the kickers on both teams after they're done warming up and say, hey, how far out do you feel comfortable from?
I was just going to say, explain how important talking to a kicker is, because the kicker's always a forgotten person on the team.
So
it's
important.
Like, he's either the hero or like the loser, like the highs and lows of being a kicker. For obvious reasons. But I think it's really interesting, again, for those of you that listen to our podcast because you're into broadcasting or want to know more about that pull back the curtain vibe. Why is it so important to talk to the kicker?
Well, because you never know if a game's going to come down to the last minute kick, and especially in inclement weather, right? Like when it's raining or windy or snowy, it's always so good to go down there and just be like, where do you feel comfortable from? Also, too, you guys, not to get into Architectural Digest, which I know that's your jam, Charissa. If there is like a side of the stadium that's wide open where wind will come in more or there's not, that's also a big factor too, because if they're kicking that way, a lot of times, this is always a really freaking hard question that Joe and Troy will throw to me in a break. They'll be like, hey, Erin, that's my Troy. Which way is the wind coming from? I'm like, I wouldn't know north, south, east, west, all of the things if it hit me in the face. So you know what I always do? Sometimes I'll talk to a player or a trainer. I'm like, hey, which way is the wind coming from? And then, my favorite thing to say, guys, it's swirling. It's a swirl, I don't know.
I have no idea. That's like when someone asks you for directions and they're like, just head north. I go, well, head north? I don't have a compass in my fucking hand. That was aggressive. I didn't even swear. But I'm like, is it left or right? Just give me a left or right in this whole situation. But wait, what was I going to say to you before that?
Swirling.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to take these eyelashes off. I don't want Jillian to be upset.
Jillian, Erin's taking her eyelashes off.
Oh, no. It's okay. The picture's right.
She said it's okay. The pictures were great.
Yeah, I love her. We should bring Jillian in for some, what's new in makeup? What's going on in makeup? For our female listeners out there.
Please, Erin, introduce Jillian to the audience at home.
So Jillian Gregory is joining us right now. Jillian came to me about she can't hear. Oh, she can hear.
Yeah,
about 2 years ago, she started up with us and is a fan favorite by all on-air talent. Charissa loves her as well.
Everyone.
Troy Aikman
adores her.
I mean, because this girl can make a guy or a gal's mug look great. Jillian, admittedly so, I'm a tomboy. I don't wear a lot of makeup. Carissa's really good with her makeup. But are there you had a lot of like great free things sitting by you today. Are there any new trends that maybe some of our listeners could look for easy to do? None of us can do the Kardashian contour, you know?
I'm really into stick products, like a stick bronzer.
Oh, explain.
Hold on 1 second.
Because you can just go like this and then rub with your hands. Like it's like foolproof makeup, or a stick blush. Like you smile and go like that, rub it in, and then you're like good to go.
Is that like a bronzer, a blush,
great question,
even an eye stick product?
Like an eye stick. The sticks you like that I showed you.
And this is not an ad, but what kind? Like if I walk into Sephora or wherever you get your makeup products, what are we getting? Your top 3 essential items for the fall.
Okay. Oh, for the fall. I like nude sticks.
Get her ready.
Nude sticks, they make really good.
I love nude stick too.
Mm-hmm.
It's foolproof. I can do it. Go ahead.
Just literally take the stick and scribble it on your eyelid and go like that, and then you have an eye look.
By the way, you have no makeup on. You look so pretty.
I look nasty.
Okay, here we go.
I'm not like them. I like to look like Kardashian season 1. RuPaul's Drag Race. Like that's when I feel the best.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the first product, the nude stick.
Jillian, you came over in quarantine and we're talking to Chris and I about applying our own makeup. And this is when we were doing Zooms and we were like, we don't think we're going to be able to have anyone do it. You taught us a couple of tricks, some sayings that you had. The 3, and then something with your eye. She needs to match her. Can you please explain if you remember any of these?
I always say that eyebrows and eyes are sisters, not twins.
Love it.
So when you're doing your own makeup, people get really frustrated because they're like, my eyeliner isn't even. It isn't really supposed to be. Because your eye shapes are different. So,
Sisters, not twins for eyes. Okay. What's the 3? Not Russell Wilson.
The 3 is your bronzer or a contour, which is like the thing now. When I was younger, like contour, I never heard of it.
I do it because whenever I feel bloated, I need to have some definition.
Jawline, but you guys have good jaws, like J-Lo jaws, you know? You guys don't need much. Like,
okay, but explain what a contour.
I just have the nose I like to contour and make smaller because it's really big.
Oh, boy.
No. So you make a 3.
So you do the 3.
Yeah, you take your bronzer or the stick, which is one of my top 3 products to get at Sephora, bronze stick. And you go like this. And then here, and
up
then
your
here.
Forehead.
Yes, you make a 3.
Yeah, you make.
Like,
yep.
Do, and then just rub it in. It's really easy. I mean, I could go grab a brush, but.
So nude stick, the contour, and what's the 3rd and final product for the fall?
I like the contour sticks by Gucci Westman.
Is it actually Gucci?
Her name's, I think, the makeup artist who came up with it. Her name is Gucci, but it's not actually.
Oh my God, I'm using Revlon.
No. It's like, it's called Westman Atelier.
Wow, bless you.
And then Makeup by Mario makes a good contour bronze stick. Okay. I'm loving Makeup by Mario these days. And then my 3rd, but this is just me personally, I love a lip liner.
Great.
I feel like
Mac Spice.
Okay.
Mac Spice. I think it just like zhuzhes you up. Like automatically makes you look kind of sexy.
Okay, so now for the real questions.
Okay.
Erin and I are married. Yeah. We are not out in the scene, in the mix anymore.
In the streets.
Our sides of the streets are all cleaned up. I need a good Jillian, you can tell, with some anonymity to the other person involved, a good dating story. What's happening out there right now with the youth of America?
Well, I don't I hear stories from my friends because I just I'm a one guy kind of girl.
Oh, respectable.
Currently one guy. But,
She's taken.
I'm taken at the moment.
Hey,
boring.
But I've had my stories.
Okay, we want a good dating story.
I had this one guy who, it's COVID, right? So this is just weird in general. We sat down at the restaurant and I'm not like a side by side. We're really close.
I'm just
but I'm not like a side by side at the restaurant. I want to, especially first date.
You should never sit side by side.
Oh,
No.
you're side by side, not apart?
No, so I like to look at the person, right? So I don't even like to be really side by side with the guy unless you're my boyfriend.
I know, I'd
and
be
we're
worried
drunk.
about my breath at a restaurant. Yeah, no.
And I don't even want to be a side seater with my husband. This is now my neck's hurting. My neck, I'm gonna have to wear a neck brace after just our short time together.
So we sit at the restaurant and he goes, I sit across from him and then he pats next to him and goes, sit next to me. And I was like, no,
a first date?
First date. And I was like, I'm going to just sit here. And he got so mad. He was pissed. Was just mad the rest of the day. I was like, check, please.
Check, please.
And that's why I was like, I don't, I think, that was me dating for 2 weeks. And I was like, I'm over it.
So did the conversation just suck the whole time because you had it in your head that he wanted you to sit next to him? That was super weird. And then you knew he was annoyed?
He was just I just realized he was a weirdo. I didn't like him. He also I don't know. My friend set me up with him. I wish I could tell you his name on Instagram because that should have been the red flag.
Tell us.
I can't because it was.
No, but tell us what was he doing on his Instagram?
But
Weird
you
things.
cannot throw it out there.
Okay.
You're only whispering it by a microphone. Okay, but what was going on Instagram?
So his name was just weird on Instagram, and I was recently single. My girlfriend was like, "This guy always messages me about you. Please go out with him. Give him a chance." So I'm like, okay. So the first thing,
okay.
He had a really bad posture. He was just weird.
I have bad posture.
No, you don't.
No,
not
you
anymore.
don't.
Not with the Amazon thing.
And also, if you're a guy and you're not the tallest, I'm not a height. I don't care about that. I'm short. You can be kind of short, whatever. But he wasn't the tallest, so he kind of looked like a troll. He had hunched over posture.
Erin, do you have a bad date story? I've got a really bad one. So if you have one, you go first, but...
No, go first and then I'll tell one. Go.
Okay, this is just who I am. I just say everything at this point. Everyone knows everything about my life. But I was dating. This is not a story to brag about, which is why I'm prefacing it with, I'll just say it. I was not dating this guy. I was in a community college class because I went to community college for the first 2 years, got my residency in California, transferred to UCSB. Great intertransfer program, by the way, for the youth of America. That's two Youth of America references. Bringing it back. We're running out of time. All right. So I'm in this community college class sitting next to this guy and he was so hot. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so into this guy. He's not paid any attention to me, whatever. So one day he starts to give me attention and we're talking and he's like, oh, do you want to hang out this weekend? I was like, oh, I actually can't. I had a doctor's appointment the next day. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I was all backed up. I was having stomach issues, all this stuff. So I was going to get a colonoscopy. I was 19 years old. I didn't know what a colonoscopy was. My gastro, whatever doctor was like, yeah, you have to get a colonoscopy or whatever. Just take this stuff, this fluid, and then you have to have someone drive you to the hospital, to the doctor's office, whatever, for this thing. So he goes, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I have a doctor's appointment. I was like, actually, that reminds me, I'm supposed to get a ride to it. And he goes, oh, I'll take you. Okay, again, not knowing what is in store here. So he drives me to the doctor's appointment. The last thing I remember is me telling him in the lobby, oh, I'll just be back in a little bit. Cut to, I am now fully dressed again, and he's standing in the room with the doctor and me, and the doctor's explaining to him and squiggling on this paper, and I'm half out of it. And so we get into the car that he's helped me into, and I was like, what just happened? I was like, did you have to put, the doctor thought it was my boyfriend. So he got me dressed. Mind you, we've never even kissed. He's seen me now naked. He gets me dressed, and the doctor explained to him that I had excessive stool backup.
Oh, no, that's awful.
Look at Erin's face. She's mortified.
Oh,
I thought it was going to be a guy being bad to you. I didn't realize you were the cause of the bad.
Yeah, that's why I said I'll tell you. Yeah, so anyways, Stay true to your health. Probiotic kids will say. Needless to say, I left, and then the doctor was like, she's going to be going to the bathroom all day.
Oh my God. Did you ever go out with this guy again?
No, and I dropped out of the geography class at Grossmont Community College.
Probably smart. Because
are you kidding me? I had never even kissed this guy, and now he's seen me naked, and he knows that I had constipation. What?
I mean, that's.
I just didn't go on many dates. Like, I'm trying to think of like any bad dates. I just didn't go really on many. I will say my family just came and visited me, and we were talking about a story about our dogs. And I swear this has a point. This boy, we were talking about who we went to like homecoming with, like our freshman, junior, sophomore. I know I did that out of order, senior season. And my dad said something like, who did you go to homecoming with your senior year? Well, that started a whole story of, I really wanted to go with this one guy. I'll say it. Preston Bernheisel.
Ooh,
he was the hottest guy
Such
in
a
my
great
grade.
name.
That's a good name.
Preston.
Great name.
Where's he
I think
now?
he's a lawyer in Dallas now.
Oh.
Shout out to the Bernheisel clan.
Every time
Anyways,
every time Erin comes on TV, they're like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted him to ask me out so bad. But I remember I was waiting and I didn't think it would happen. Well, then like it was like a Wednesday or something. I just made that up. And I got a knock on my door and it wasn't him.
Oh,
It was another boy. And I opened up the door. I know you sound like my sister. Kendra said this the other day. He had this whole like paper thing and he was asking me, and it was this song and dance and it was shaking. And I don't remember how I said no, but I had to say no.
Oh, no.
And then my mom came out and she goes, what was that? And I was like, I was just saying no to so-and-so. And then my mom goes, oh my God. And I was like, what? I was eating Beef O'Brady chicken wings, huge chicken wing establishment in Florida. I left the bones on the ground and our golden retriever started eating them. No. You cannot give bones to golden retrievers. So then my mom had to give her peroxide so she would puke them up. Anyways, it was a horrible day. It turned into this guy coming to my house, asking me to homecoming. I had to say no.
Did
and
Preston
I went to homecoming with Preston Bernheisel. He asked me at the football game. I was cheering. I did the highest toe touch of my life. Like my heels went past my ears.
Did you go to homecoming or prom with who you wanted to go with?
No, my high school boyfriend Jared Murrell broke up with me, and then he took somebody else, a much younger.
Where is he now?
Sophomore. He just had a baby. Congratulations. But so I went with my friend Matt, and
was it fun?
Yeah, no, Matt's fun. But you want to go to prom with like the guy you want to hook up with, though, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Chris Myers. Go get Myers. He's in the hall. Go get him. This was homecoming?
He could do this podcast while you have to leave.
We're not going anywhere if Myers is coming in. Look at him.
No.
Here he comes. Everyone buckle up.
Is he coming?
Oh, yeah. Everybody, slow clap with a 3, 2, 1. Let's welcome in to the stage our next performer, Chris Myers. I'm Chris Myers. Chris Myers, please have a seat right here. Chris Myers. Get over it. What am I working over garage?
I'm going to fire my agent. This is ridiculous. 20 years in the business, and we were in a hall closet with folding chairs. We really hit the big time, Charissa. After this, who knows where we're going.
And Erin,
wait, where is Erin?
Myers,
I didn't see. Hi. Hello, Erin.
Erin and I will
in my room in a cave, apparently.
What's that?
Myers, what can you say?
Myers.
What have you taken away from this seminar that you can tell everybody and not get in trouble with Fox or the NFL? Anything great?
We're in Phoenix. It's 180 out there. Let's have the seminar on the sun next year. How about that? No, I'm kidding. Is that going to get me in trouble? No, because
but can I tell a story that Myers?
Well, no, because
Myers reminded me of. Oh, go ahead, Myers.
No, it is July. I mean, that's what the weather is here usually, right?
No wonder the rooms were so cheap.
Everybody, it was such a deal. Everybody says it's a dry heat. Yeah, well, so's the oven, but I don't want to live in there. You know, it's kind of a different thing. I'll be back in November and hang out with the Cardinals. It'll be nice. Anyway.
Myers reminded me of a story at NFC Championship this year. So we were nice enough to fly from Green Bay to Dallas. We went to Troy's, had way too many cocktails with a bunch of people from the crew. Then we drove to a Whataburger. We didn't drive. A car service did. Left Troy at home. Called FaceTime Myers at 2 a.m. to break down Bucks Packers.
Yes. And it was terrific.
Yeah. Anyways, what a story.
And
Myers, who are your favorites to cover in this season? Who are you looking forward to covering this season?
Certainly, the Rams, and being at SoFi Stadium with a full crowd will be kind of cool. I have one of the Ram Cardinal games. It's a cool stadium. I did some games last year in Buffalo and in Seattle without the fans, in Seattle, when you have the fans, it really does make a difference. Yeah, it's the atmosphere, the energy that we have, and obviously less words for us, and it rides it out. I don't know. There's a lot of. I think the Viking offense is really going to be special. Improved offensive line. I love the talent position there. Cousins will be on it. I don't know. It's kind of a wide range of the young quarterbacks in the AFC. Joe Burrow's on our schedule, so a few of them. I like. Here's what I like too. Erin and Charissa, that the NFC to me, there's the Bucs, but repeating is hard. So right away, that's kind of a strike against them, right? To go back to back, that's an extra challenge. But then after that, I think it's kind of across the board. There's a lot of evenness. Is it Seattle? Are the Packers going to be okay?
I like the Rams. And I say this as a Seattle girl.
Yeah, Matt Stafford.
Yeah, but the Cam Akers injury is big. That's big.
Yeah, but if there's anyone that can
what are they going to do? Are they going to get a running back? What's happening?
Yeah,
what are your people like Sean McVay telling you?
Yeah, I'm talking. I thought a guy like Le'Veon Bell, if his heart was in it. He could contribute kind of like McCoy did, or Fournette had Leonard Fournette for the Bucs had kind of a resurgent career.
Yeah, it was one of the 4 touchdowns.
Totally.
Yeah,
and he took
Brady
off
brought him in.
in the and in the playoffs, he took off. Yeah, it was really. I like that the year is so wide open, right? You have the Chiefs and the Bucs. Okay, they were in the Super Bowl, but then after there you got the Browns and Bills that I think could make it to the Super Bowl this year. So there's
listed all the teams.
There's a lot of that's what I mean. I think everybody's in it, and even our buddy Urban Meyer, they'll be better. They're not going to be a playoff team. I do think the Carson Wentz injury really affects the Colts. They were a playoff team, and the amount of time that he's going to be out in the Magic, they're going to have to work with. They should probably make a move.
Why has he always hurt this guy?
So. Who's that? Wentz?
Yeah.
But what do you think about the gossip now? Would they get Nick Foles? I mean, could you imagine?
Oh, yeah. That's actually, I think.
Yeah, because Frank Wright worked with him.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
What happened.
Can you imagine Nick Foles comes? Because look, they're going to have to get a backup quarterback, and Nick Foles is like number 3 on the depth chart right now for Chicago, right?
Yeah, they're going to actually.
Played that game before in Philly.
Well, not only, I mean, he would probably be their starter. I mean, based on. Wow. With Wentz out until Wentz returns, and then how healthy when he returns. So
Myers now.
Yeah.
Aside from football,
Meyer, I love that we're that close that they call me Myers.
Well,
right?
Are we not close? I mean, we're very close.
No, but I mean, I call you Erin and Charissa. I don't call you, hey, Thompson.
Really?
Hey, Andrews.
Well,
no.
We always call you Myers.
I know everybody. I don't know why. It's a weird thing.
Are you offended? You want us to go back?
No. You can call me. You can call me anything as long as you call me. Hey, no, I'm kidding. All right. Sorry, I just couldn't help that. They like to joke around a lot. They're crazy. I just stumbled in here. I don't really know these two people.
So Chris always does this really fun bit at the seminar where he pokes fun at people, and it's one of my favorite things. Now, we're not doing that this year because we're in a different climate. That's fine.
Right.
But
it's 108 degrees.
It's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat.
But we need to know where you get your comedic chops, because Erin and I laugh clearly.
You guys are a great audience.
Well, no, actually, we're a tough audience because we don't think a lot of people are funny. But everything that comes out of your mouth, we think is hysterical. So where does the comedic background come from?
Well, no, and I enjoyed doing that. It's pretty cool at our company in the past, and hopefully we can return to that, where the boss says, hey, work the room, have fun with everybody. Mm-hmm. And you have...
Rip on everyone.
Yeah, whether it's you guys, Troy Aikman, whoever, Hall of Famers, Super Bowl, everybody, we're all at the same level. Yeah, and we all have fun, and nothing's mean-spirited. It's a lot of fun. So growing up, I watched a lot of sports, but I also watched like late-night interviews and those, Johnny Carson, the late shows like you have now with Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel, et cetera. So I just liked fast tempo. I used to watch all the roasts of, whatever the comics when they were roasting people, and then they had a modern version on MTV. But I like the fast pace, tease somebody. I come from a family with 5 kids, so we're always brothers, sisters teasing each other. And so that we did it not to be mean, but to be funny. What you were wearing, how your hair looks, all those things.
How did you start in the business? What was your first job?
So I called in on a radio station in Miami as a teenager, and I had a deep voice. But they didn't have caller ID.
Lucky.
Yeah, and they had and they had a rule where you could only call once a night. So I would be Chris from Miami, then I would call back, disguise my voice, and I would be Duke from North Miami, and I'd agree with my earlier call. So I'd get on the air twice at night. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I had this going for like a year, and they had fan night, and they invited both of me down to the radio station. So I said to my dad, and I couldn't drive yet. I said, Dad, what should I tell him? He said, well, first you have to tell him you're a lying little brat. You were supposed to be doing your homework. I'm like, oh, thanks, Dad. I appreciate the support. But anyway, he drove me down there, and they let me. They said, wow, kid, you know a lot about sports or whatever. You want to work weekends when you get your license. And so
when you get your license,
yeah, I
that's
was
funny.
like 13, 14. And then I had the temporary license, and then my sister would drop me off there on weekends behind the scenes, and then got into radio, and then from there TV locally. And then, and now I'm here. We're in
How long you've
broom
been at
closet.
Fox? I mean, I was at Fox in, the HR department. I know it's, you know what?
This is
here we are now.
Are we live, by the way? This is live, right?
Yeah, this is
okay.
live. Everything's
we're
live.
live.
I love it.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But how long have you been at Fox?
20 years.
Yeah.
I was at ESPN 10 years. Our paths crossed in different ways because you went over to ESPN, for a time and then came back to Fox.
You
But
guys never overlapped at ESPN, did you?
not
No.
Yeah, not really. Yeah.
Funny story. Chris actually thought I was a bitch until he got put on a Cowboys game with me. And then I said, come share my dressing room with me. It's so great. There's your own bathroom
Erin,
in here and great lighting to get ready. And he goes, I thought you were a bitch. You're pretty great.
I never said that. I worded it differently. But she did she always took good care of me on the road trips in terms of, we're going to get a good hotel. I'm going to make sure you get here, whatever, So, no, we had a great working relationship that we never
time.
really had. Yeah. And that was some of the best part with Joe and Troy on that crew. Wasn't just doing the big games and the playoffs and all that weird weather in Green Bay, but, and her outfits.
Weird
yes.
weather.
You bundle up, but the hanging out, around,
Great jacket.
yes. I mean, she looked like a peacock at heat one time with this outfit just to stay warm. And so but hanging out away, we'd have lunch or dinner or even just, have a beverage. And, it's a great fun hanging out, talking, telling stories. And the road trip she was talking about, like, sometimes it's not all glamorous. You're starving, you're eating at a late hour, but you're with people you like.
Well, and as case in point, as we're in the broom closet here and Erin's, having to pull a curtain because there's these hotel rooms. But the reality is this, we all like each other.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to be together. And I mean, having all worked in different places, I don't think it's a secret that we're not just saying this because we're employed by Fox.
Right.
But working here, it is like a family, and it's so much fun, and everyone give each other a hard time. But at the end of the day, it's like we're teammates, and there's that locker room vibe.
Yeah, we want each other to do well,
Yeah.
and that's what the seminar. You see it here too when people gather that you don't see. You have your own crew you work with, but people you don't see year round, and then we all gather here, and we do. We kind of we like each other. We like having fun. It's a good atmosphere.
I'm gonna
that
get
they've
in trouble
created.
if I don't go to the picture day. So you guys take it from here.
I have
Erin,
to
you
go to that picture at 4:30.
You wrap it up. I will leave. You guys
Okay.
finish.
All right,
the
thank you.
Conversation.
Very
There's
much.
a lot where you just.
He's never met a microphone he doesn't like. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say. I feel like I'm running for the mob here. I'm going to hide this under my shirt. We'll get the real story on who runs the parking garage. All right. All right.
Myers, do you have any more meetings left, or are you done?
No, I'm pretty much. Oh, I have to
Thanks,
tape
buddy.
one
Bye.
thing.
Yeah,
All right,
same
we'll see you, Chris. Don Cornelli, who's being honored in the Hall of Fame. You've worked with him a lot of years. I think I'm shooting something to talk about his performance because my first year was with him. I was on the sideline before you had joined us at Fox. Was 2004 in a Green Bay, Seattle. Remember Matt Hasselbeck when he's like, "We want the ball. We're going to score with overtime."
Yeah, we're going to score.
Yeah, and Don worked that. There's a tremendous story. He's a camera operator who handles all the big games.
He's our
works with
camera
you.
operator, guys. We call him. He's a handheld down on the field. So literally, he shoots those plays up and close. He shoots our stand-ups. Go ahead, Myers.
Yeah, and he this game I had Al Harris intercepted the ball. Remember, Seattle was on their way to score with Hasselbeck and the corner, and it was frigid cold. And Harris intercepts and returns going down the sideline untouched, 52 yards. And our camera, Cornelli carrying this heavy camera equipment in freezing weather, he is moving as fast. Remember, you're going one way, thinking one thing's going to happen, like, hey, we're going to interview Seattle, they're going to win an OT, and Cornelli step for step was right. They got to the end zone at the same time Al Harris did for the winning touchdown. It was able to capture it all for people at home, and then do the interview. I did the post interview. It was so cold, the sweat was freezing on the face of Al Harris. But Don Cornelli, our Hall of Fame camera operator, handheld, was there, and with you, he's had so many big moments where you don't realize the crowd he's fighting through, what he's going through on the sideline to get the best shot or the best interview for us afterwards, or be in the best position. And anyway, so there's something with him that we're honoring, and he certainly deserves it. So I want to make sure I put my 2 cents in on what a great teammate he's been for us over the years.
Yeah, and it's a scary position as well. I was working a Rams game. It wasn't Rams Eagles. It was Rams somebody else. And he was on my sideline, and I was, he was running, and a player ran right over him, and he ended up when they pulled him up, blood was coming out of like his nose and everything. He got hit. Remember, our guys don't have pads on. They don't have helmets on like the football players. And he was really, really injured. And I just remember grabbing my microphone and telling our director, Rich Russo, you have to get him off the field. He's hurt. He's hurt. He wanted to finish the game, but couldn't. But Don Cornelli, we're so excited going into the Hall of Fame. But wow, I mean, they get the shots, but it's also so dangerous. They really have one eye on what's going around them. And also, actually, they're not even looking what's going around them. They're following the play.
Right. You have to hope that other people don't get in their way. And that's a good point because you have to be, and Don is very, whatever the age through the years, very physically fit. He's very athletic himself and muscular to move and handle. And you're right. He probably wanted to finish the game even with blood pouring down his face. That's the kind of worker he is. I'm glad he's okay. So anyway, but I enjoy you guys on the
Myers.
Sorry. On your show.
What's that?
I said I enjoy when you guys tell crazy stories about traveling and about dealing with people. It's very entertaining. So keep up the good work.
Carissa just told a story about having a massive blockage during a first date and had to invite the guy to a colonoscopy. Do you have any crazy first date stories like that?
Oh, wow. I can't. You guys tell everything on this podcast or this gathering, this event, this broadcast event. No, I don't think I can have a. So I did have a story when I was first a young TV broadcaster in Miami, and I was on television. And I asked this girl out, and we were still very young because I got into TV young, and her dad, when I came over there to the house, her dad answered the door. She said, "Hey, this is Chris. You know, he works on TV." And I think the family thought, she didn't really tell him, and I don't know, that I worked on TVs. And he said, well, our TV said, we got a little problem with this thing in the back, some wiring. Can you help us out with that? I, of course, I'm not mechanically inclined at all. I can barely hold a microphone. So it was one of those embarrassing moments. That relationship didn't go anywhere, by the way. But after that, but it was one of those, so I don't work on TV. I work, I guess in TVs I'm on TV, but I don't work on TVs themselves. Anyway, it was one of those weird dating moments from way back when.
Well, if that's as weird as it gets, I mean, you sound pretty straight-laced, although I know you're not. You're a lot of fun. Love you. Thanks for doing this. I'll see you in about 20 minutes when I run through the heat and get back down to the meeting room.
Yes, we have more meetings, and I think we're honoring Dick Stockton later. I think the commissioner is supposed to speak here.
I heard the commissioner's coming.
Yeah, so that's always good to see Raj. I remember when I saw him at the last, I said, hey, can I call you Raj? Can I call you Raj? He said, no, call me Goodell, Chris. Anyway, he's a good guy. All right.
Oh, and you tell him to call you Myers.
That's right. He said.
On that note,
we'll see you later.
We're going to wrap up so we can go see the commission. I'll see you in a few minutes,
okay.
Myers.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
All right.
Bye.
See ya. Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.